all my life. Been grinding all my life. Sacrifice, hustle paid the price. Want a slice, got to roll the dice. That's why all my life I've been grinding all my life. All my life.
Welcome to Darren and Sterling here, ESPN Kansas City, 1510 AM, 94.5 FM, 1510.com, live in studio. Beautiful but slightly windy Tuesday afternoon. Darren,
yes, sir.
How you doing?
Doing good. Doing better than Chris Jones and Josh Gordon right now, but I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah, a lot to get into today. A lot of news in the NFL, a lot of news in Kansas City, especially regarding COVID. A lot of guys potentially missing Thursday's game against the Chargers, but
not just Thursday, Saturday and Sunday as well.
As far as Chief Chargers, but for both sides, there are some massive losses, including Rashawn Slater and including Chris Jones. Before getting all that, last night's game was incredible. Arizona, the Rams held on 130-23. They played incredible, picked off Kyler Murray multiple times down in the red zone. Matt Stafford did enough to get it done, made a couple of fantastic throws, one to Cooper Kupp, one to Van Jefferson, one to OBJ. The Rams are playing shorthanded. No Jalen Ramsey, no Tyler Higbee. They're missing a big offensive lineman as well, and they were still able to get it done. Aaron Donald was incredible, a game wrecker, and there was no more fitting end than watching Aaron Donald get right back and sack Kyler Murray as time expired.
Well, I think two of those sacks he got just by accident, just like he just ran by and touched him because Kyler went down.
He was scared. I think Kyler was like, "Oh man, this dude's coming."
Yeah, I think the second sack he had gotten, Aaron was breaking through the line, and he just like went down. He was like, "Blow the whistle,"
yeah.
and fell, and Aaron just like, "Okay, I'll get the sack and I'll celebrate. That's what I do." Look, that was an excellent game, of course. Because the game started out low scoring, I jumped, me and my live in-game betting. I jumped in that thing, and instead of it paying out 90-some bucks, paid 82.84. But, I won. I hit. I started to go back in later on in the game, and I was going to take that plus 9.5 for the Cardinals, but it was like every time they was getting the ball, instead of them kicking a field goal, they just was trying to go for it. And then by the time they went for a field goal, it was too late. And so, but I'm glad I didn't, because I was going to take one particular bet, and had I done that, I'd have been smacked pretty hard. So I'm glad I didn't. But it was a good game, obviously. But that was a costly game for the Cardinals. With their loss, they went from, I think, first to either second or third, because I know them, along with the Packers, along with the Buccaneers, are all 10-3. So that was a costly loss to them. Obviously, for the Rams, that was a good win for them. They don't move up. I mean, they're still number 5 seed-wise, but they did split the season series with the Cardinals, and now they're just trying to parlay that with going further. Now, the only bad thing about that is, as we talked about with the COVID stuff, you have a situation where now they'll be without OBJ perhaps next week, unless he's vaccinated. He tested positive for COVID today. So, but look, big win again last night for the Rams. But the question was posed this morning, did the Cardinals prove they can't be trusted yet? I mean, because that was a home game. They technically play better on the road than they do at home. But still, what's the use of trying to get the number 1 seed to have home field advantage if you can't take care of, of your home turf?
Yeah, the Cardinals started off very hot this season, but they're 3-3 in their past 6 games. As much as I like Kyler Murray, as much as I like Cliff Kingsbury and the Arizona team as a whole, I don't think they're there yet. If you're telling me as a Kansas City Chiefs fan, say you could pick who you want to face in the Super Bowl from the NFC.
And they got the third too, by the way. I'm
sure.
Sorry. Yeah.
But say the Chiefs and you're in the Super Bowl, who would you want to face of the NFC teams that are contenders? Green Bay, Buccaneers, Rams. You can maybe throw Dallas in there. I don't think Dallas would be in that equation. And then Arizona. I would say Arizona or Dallas would be the 2 teams I would say that if I was a Chiefs fan, I would want to face. I think Arizona is a very good team, but I don't think they're in that elite tier yet.
I'm going to be honest. I think the way that the Chiefs are cut, I think they would want to face Tampa Bay again. I think they would want to go back up against them and, try to run it back. Now, granted, that's my prediction, of course, but I think the way that they're, that they're made, because of how they were embarrassed in the Super Bowl last year. I think if they had the chance to face any of those teams this time around in the Super Bowl, I think they would want to go back again and face. But that's just my opinion.
No, I'm with you. But as far as a strictly on-field performance standpoint, I think the Arizona Cardinals will be the one team you're saying. I don't think they're there yet. Not saying they can't be.
I would venture to say the Cowboys, and the reason why is Arizona's the one team that they really haven't faced, and preseason, but I'm thinking more like regular season. You know, Packers, you know, they know they probably escaped it with Aaron Rodgers not being there, and with him hitting on all cylinders, that relationship with he and Devontae, it could be one of those games that go back and forth. I mean, I'm thinking I don't know. You know what? Now I think about it, it might be the Cardinals because the Cowboys. If you can get the Cowboys to where you can get Dak struggling, you got a good chance. But hey, Michael Parsons is going to be a man possessed if you face him in the Super Bowl. The Rams, they're starting to look like they're clicking. Granted, you had to have the game against the Jags, and then I think they may have lost the game before coming back to win this one. So they may start hitting their stride. You know, last time these two teams played, it was 54-51, so they haven't played since. And then you got Matthew Stafford as quarterback. I don't know. So you could be right about the Arizona Cardinals.
The Rams, to me, just have so much top-end star power, which I think bodes well for big games. When you have guys like Matt Stafford, OBJ, Jalen Ramsey, Aaron Donald, Leonard Floyd, you just have a plethora of guys.
Just gonna overlook Von Miller.
Von Miller, but I mean,
he won the Super Bowl MVP.
But I'm just saying, as far as top-end talent, the Rams have so much of it, and Cooper Kupp to an extent. Cooper Kupp's been incredible.
Cooper Kupp, he legit. I was watching him last night. He's legit. Not that I wouldn't put because I had put money on him before, but he's the truth, man. I think between he and Devontae Adams, two best receivers in football right now.
It's just incredible, and that's what if you're a Rams fan, you have to like what you saw because they showed up in prime time, down your best cornerback, and still found a way to get it done. Still got 2 interceptions. Leonard Floyd had an incredible interception to himself. And then they had one other one. I'm drawing a blank. That was in the red zone.
Yeah, but the second one. But the only thing that bothers me about the Rams is they're just too inconsistent.
Sure.
And that's what, because again, they'll beat a team like Tampa Bay. They'll beat a team like this, like the Arizona Cardinals, but they'll turn around and they'll lose some of these other games that you just don't expect them to lose. And that kind of concerns me when it comes to the playoffs and the big games, because they had the opportunity to go up to Green Bay last year in the playoffs and knock off Aaron Rodgers, and they couldn't do it.
But Matt Stafford wasn't there. To me, again, Matt Stafford was the addition that I think made the Rams a complete football team. I'm not saying they're the best team in football, but I'm saying as far as the NFC goes, that is one team. I think if they get hot, which they're seemingly doing right now, if they can get hot at the right time, as long as COVID doesn't ravage their team, they look like a team that can make a deep run in the playoffs. That's all I'm saying. As far as Kansas City goes, you mentioned it. Chris Jones, Josh Gordon, both COVID list right now. Their chances of playing Thursday are basically non-existent. You can technically test negative tomorrow and Wednesday. And if they're vaccinated, they can play on Thursday.
They're both vaccinated.
It just seems – because these, I don't believe, were close contacts. These were actually positive tests.
They were positive tests. I think Chris tested today positive. Josh was yesterday. But again, when you look at that, the situation with that is just more so, again, they're both vaccinated, and they both just have to test negative twice over that 24-hour period, as you mentioned before. So they can still travel to
separately. I don't know how that works, to be honest with you.
If
they're positive, if they test positive tomorrow, I don't believe they have any chance of playing Thursday.
Yeah, you can test. Yeah, you can test positive because the game is in the evening time, so you can test positive. You can test
if they tested negative Wednesday and Thursday morning.
Yeah.
Okay. Again, unlikely. Rashawn Slater for the Chargers, same boat. And that is a huge loss for the Chargers. He's been their best offensive lineman. I was listening to Soren's show over there on our sister station 810, and the drop-off for the Chargers from tackle and Rashawn Slater to whatever the dude's name that you'd never heard of before, that's a big drop-off. At least with Chris Jones, you still have Derek Nottie, Turk Wharton. You still got some solid players in there on the defensive line. They're going to have to it's a big hole because Chris Jones has been playing incredible, but that's a big loss for the Chargers as well.
Yeah, no, I agree. One of the conversations that we were having after the presser today, and Steve and I we were having on our walk to our vehicles, is that if you're Andy Reid, well, the NFL sent out a memo on yesterday where the players and basically Tier 1 and Tier 2 staff have to receive the booster shot by December 27th. But one of the things we were discussing is that, of course, Josh Gordon tested positive. Now, we don't know whether or not he had COVID prior to coming into the media room Sunday after the game. Now, some of us were like within 6 feet of him, but we had a mask on. He didn't. But, Chiefs PR, Andy, they didn't have on masks or whatever. So, talk about close contact. They were all close contact. Literally everybody on the team was close contact to these players. We're wondering, and I don't mind asking the question after the game on Thursday, depending on how things around the league continue to transpire. But, is it time for them to make it all hands on deck, like rent out a hotel and have the players, you can say you call it quarantine, call it what you want, but to make sure, because you're going into the home stretch, you don't want players getting on that COVID list as you inch closer and closer to the playoffs, especially knowing that you're trying to get first place, not only in the division, but in the conference and get that home seat throughout the playoffs. Some of us think that that's what they need to do. I don't know if you agree with it or not, but that's something that, they were willing to do whatever it took last year. Patrick, I don't think a lot of people know this. Patrick actually stayed in the hotel throughout most of the last season because he didn't want to get Brittany pregnant.
Well, that didn't work.
He didn't want to get her COVID or bring anything home, so he did a lot of FaceTime. And so he stayed at a hotel through the season. It had a little effect on him, but that's the sacrifice he was willing to make sure that he knew that if he caught COVID, man, Kansas City loses damn mind. Like right now, we see Chris Jones got it, and we're kind of debating how the team's going to look. If Patrick caught it, come on, man. All hell is going to break loose.
No, I agree, and it's a fine line of these guys want to win more than anything, but an entire team, staff, are they going to put in the same effort? Because Patrick Mahomes, we know that winning is in his DNA.
But they've shown that they can do it because they did it last year.
No, I agree, but I'm saying it's very difficult to enforce, a DB coach or the assistant DB coach or the assistant video.
Let me say this: it doesn't have to be an enforced thing, but it could be a thing where the coach has a meeting,
sure,
players meeting, team meeting. Hey, get their thoughts. Should we not? Because obviously it's not like Clark Hunt can't afford it.
Sure.
They would. I think that if they wanted to do it, and if they decided to do it, I guarantee you it would get done.
They all know it's Super Bowl or but. At this point in the Chiefs, their trajectory with Mahomes and the guys they have on this roster, it's going to be Super Bowl or bust again until the foreseeable future.
They are the actual Vegas favorites on the AFC side. On the AFC side now to get back to the Super Bowl.
But my point is they've done a really good job. They know what's at stake. And I know Chris Jones and Josh Gordon, you can never be, for all you know, they were taking it extremely careful, and it was a Uber Eats guy. Like, you have no idea where they could have got it from technically. And they could have.
I agree.
And I think they've done a good job. The Chiefs have not had a massive outbreak. You're looking at, like, the Titans. You're looking at the Rams. Apparently, the Browns have had an obscene amount.
8 today.
So, I think they're probably doing everything they can for the most part. They're being very careful. Just looking at what they know what's at stake. And you said it last year, how they were one of the best teams as far as staying safe, not getting, and it's not necessarily just even a health thing. It's also they know they want to be there. Like you said, Mahomes, if Chad Henne's the quarterback, you think Chad Henne's going to go up and all of a sudden put up 40 points? Do you trust Chad Henne against the Chargers Thursday night? I love Chad Henne. I don't trust him starting against Justin Herbert and the Chargers.
Nope.
So, yeah, I do think that maybe some extra precautions should be taken, but I still think I think they've been doing a lot already.
No, I mean, I don't disagree at all. I'm just saying that to me, they need to do whatever it takes to make sure that they can put themselves in a position to not only get home field advantage, but to get back to the Super Bowl for a third straight year.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. It's just this is looking like make or break territory with now Chris Jones and Josh Gordon, because I don't know how they test it. If now all the players have been tested for today who are going to be tested for today, so we won't see any more until tomorrow. You're just kind of hoping and praying that, hey, no more. It was just these two guys. It was a one-off. Maybe it's a false positive. That's what you're hoping for. You're hoping for that's the best case scenario. But it does bring up the question, are we going to see a lot more Kansas City players start popping up between now and Thursday's game? Because even, for example, OBJ, he probably played last night's game with COVID. He came out today with COVID, but he didn't get tested until today. So it's very possible he played yesterday's game with COVID. So some players in Kansas City, they might play Thursday's game and then get tested post, find out they play with COVID. Like, it's going to be a very interesting scenario to watch over the next few days.
That's great. And I believe, I think they get tested every day now, if I'm correct. Because I think the NFL, they updated their COVID stuff, because it used to be once a week. Now,
if you're vaccinated, if you were unvaccinated,
yeah. But I think Kansas City, they were close, if not at 100%. So that's the reason why I'm being mindful of trying to remember what the rules or what the protocols were or are now with the NFL. But it's a big problem, man. Because obviously they're gonna test tomorrow. Well, I don't know, because they will test some. They'll test, I'm pretty sure, some of the players, if not all of them, because I don't know what time they're flying out to LA tomorrow. They're obviously I know they're gonna leave early, but because I've heard there's supposed to be some gusty winds tomorrow afternoon. So this is gonna be 40, 45 miles an hour, I heard.
Crazy, yeah.
I'll already be in LA.
It's gonna be like that Buffalo game.
Well, unless
without the snow,
unless Delta's paying me a lot of money to take later flights, I'll be in LA at that time. So
when's your flight?
My flight leaves out at 6:50 in the morning
tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, 6:50 in the morning.
That's early.
Yeah, I had to be there probably around 4:50, 5 o'clock.
Dude, that's horrible.
No, not really, because
that's early, man. No, well, I guess you get the 2 hours because.
Well, but I mean,
by the time you get there,
I'm losing 2 hours, but I don't know how long. I guess the flight is like 2 hours and 45 minutes, but it's really, I don't know if it's really 4 hours, because I'm losing 2 hours going backwards. But
no, you're gaining 2 hours.
I'm going backwards in time.
No, because you're going backwards in time, but you're gaining out because it's going to be 6 a.m. It's going to be 4 a.m. in LA. By the time you get to LA, you'll basically have been only losing 1 hour, because it'll be like 7 a.m. when you land.
No, I think it'll
be 7 a.m. when you land.
But it's a nonstop flight, so I think from Los Angeles to Kansas City.
You're a time traveler.
That's true, but I think it's more so a 4 hour some flight, because 6:50. No, I don't know.
Probably about 3.5 to. Yeah, I mean, I've flown to LA before, but that was also like 12 years old.
I like to think I'd be asleep, but I'm probably not, and I will probably be watching movies or something on my computer. So either that, or I'll have to download a whole bunch of TV shows tonight to watch. But be that as it may, I leave there. But again, if Delta says, do we have any volunteers? $500 going once, twice, $1,000. I'm raising my hand. I'll take the next flight out. I told them, as long as I get there before kickoff Thursday night,
you're golden.
I will take 7 bumps, $15,000 in American Express gift cards, and
you call it a day.
I call him more than a day. I'm gonna call my bookie. So it's gonna be on and popping, baby.
Other news with Kansas City, L'Jarius Sneed is expected back for Thursday's game, according to Andy Reid.
He's expected, but he should be back today.
Yeah, was that a surprise at all to you, or because again,
it was when Andy told us today, Sterling. But he explained it by saying, he went down there because he's the kind of quote unquote financial guy, so to speak, even though he's on a rookie deal and thing, but probably got a little bit more cash than anybody else. He went home to kind of take care of arrangements and stuff, wanted to be back with the team, flown back. And look, they'll be, once they get through Thursday, they'll fly back here. They'll be off till Monday or Tuesday. So so he'll go right back home. So it gives him a chance to play in the game Thursday and then turn around and fly back.
It's probably there's nothing that can fully take your mind off of, but being back with your team, playing in a game, even if for a couple hours, thinking of something else, you would have to imagine that's probably at least good for the psyche of L'Jarius Sneed, because I couldn't imagine something like that happening, because that just overwhelms you. It's all consuming.
I can't even begin to imagine how he's probably feeling. I also think that, look, it's going to be a way for him, as you kind of mentioned, a way for him to be comforted, so to speak, because him being around his brothers, being in that locker room, they'll rally around him when he goes out there, to play Thursday night. Spaz isn't going to put him in a position, if they somehow felt he wasn't ready to play, I don't think that they would do that to him. But I think he needs it for his own mental health right about now to be around the players. I'm not saying he needs to play, but I think just being around the camaraderie of the players, I think is something that he really wants to be a part of right now and probably needs it for his own edification.
Yeah. Going around the NFL, Jerry Jones said, I don't want to say that it's a slump, but that's probably fair in regards to Dak Prescott ever since he came back from a calf injury. Is that bad for an owner to say that about your quarterback? Because if you're Dak
Jerry's
Prescott,
speaking his truth now.
I get it, but if you're Dak Prescott, don't you have to be like, dude, the owner's kind of putting me on blast right here?
Yes, but I mean, when you got to remember, man, in his situation, you can't tell the man anything. I mean, he's a billionaire, 5, 6, 7 times over. His team is worth X amount of money. He just feels like, really, for him, it's all good. I really can't see really what's wrong with what he's doing. I mean, granted, you ask him, he's going to tell you the truth, or at least his version of the truth. So it's really one of those things where it's like, hell, I'm going to ask Jerry anything because I know he's going to give me the good. Now, you wouldn't be doing your job if you got him on the line, you're a host, you don't ask these questions, knowing that, he's going to give you the goods. Now, he's giving you the goods because he's hearing from, the coaches or whatever, and he's just pretty much parroting whatever they're saying. I don't have a problem with it because, hell, I wish I could be around him and ask him some questions where I know he's going to give him the good. Jerry, do you feel like you've well, he's already said he's overpaid, but do you feel like you're getting your money's worth from Dak Prescott?
Oh, he's going to answer.
Exactly. So
he's a media dream. Jerry Jones is a media's dream. But as far as if you are a guy that plays for him, you can't argue with his passion. It's fun having an owner that cares, obviously, like better than probably Shad Khan in Jacksonville, who I don't think he cares. He's obviously basically proven it's a money thing for him. Like, I get that it's exciting to play for an owner who cares about the team, but also it's like, hey, man, cool your jets, right? Like, we're the players. Let us do our job. We don't need to have our owners saying we're in slumps. We know this. We're trying to break it out. I don't need you over my shoulder telling me how I'm playing.
Nah, that's true. That's true. But, I mean, what are you going to – I mean, first of all,
I ain't saying
nothing. I'm getting paid $75 million. The owner can really say whatever the hell he wants because them checks is still coming.
They still cashing.
And
as long as they clear, say what you want.
Hey, man, until I see him on the food line with his hand out, I know them checks is clearing. Say whatever you want about my play.
Speaking of Jacksonville, Urban Meyer post-game was not a happy camper. Did you see that one reporter that was basically giving him the business, basically calling how bad Jacksonville was, this, that, and the other. And then he was like, is it fair to say you guys are playing bad? And he just goes, looks away, Urban Meyer. Yeah. Just a very quiet, yeah. Just that's a man that's defeated right now. Urban Meyer, I have no idea.
But really, what can you say if you ever, kind of.
Well, all the reports that have come out, now he's getting all upset that he goes, I'm going to fire the guy who's coming out with these fake reports. And he doesn't seem like an honest guy. He seems like a very slimy dude. He's all about himself, and I don't see how he lasts after this year. I thought he was going to not make it to week 17. He still might not make it to week 17. His first season, though, in Jacksonville has been an utter dumpster fire.
Yeah, and I was high on Urban Meyer coming into the season. I was high on him, wanted him to get the Dallas job last year. I still think if he was the Dallas Cowboys coach, he'd be much better because he'd have a better team. So, Shad Khan, the owner, has said he's going to do what he wants. Again, he's a billionaire owner. He's going to do what he wants to do when he wants to do it. It sounds like Urban Meyer may make it through and may come back for a second season, but it's going to be real tough, man. He says that, the owner says that they're going to do the due diligence and look at everything, but he also has a big contract too. And just because you're a billionaire don't mean you want to pay out $40, $50, $60 million to get out from underneath the coach. You may allow him to have a second season, but it's like, hey, you better get it together. If you think your staff or whatever is that bad, then you need to do something about it.
I just think Urban Meyer allegedly calling all of his assistant coaches losers is just incredible as he sits at the helm of this 2-11 season. 20-0 loss to Tennessee, couldn't put up a single point. And he's sitting here playing Carlos Hyde over James Robinson. Trevor Lawrence comes out and like, hey, guys, we need to give James Robinson the football. I don't care if it's passing, running the ball. We need to get him involved. And James Robinson has 6 touches the entire game. It's just a complete dysfunction. It's like Urban Meyer realizes how much harder it is when he's not the only guy paying players.
Yes. Oh, God, babe. Oh, gosh, that's funny.
I think Urban Meyer's in over his head. I think he thought it was going to be a lot easier. He goes, I'm Urban Meyer. I have the number 1 drafted quarterback. I can make this. I think Urban Meyer thought it was going to be similar to college. He finds out it's not. He just seems like he's checked out and he wants to be out of there. He's probably pissed he didn't take the USC, Notre Dame, Oregon, Miami, any job.
I'm really not sure it was offered to him.
That's true too.
That's the thing that we have to kind of be reminded of. It doesn't necessarily mean that you are, just because you want it, don't mean it's offered. I could have wanted the vice president communication job at the Royals, but that don't mean I was going to get it. So
fair. Also, shout out to Sam Ellinger. That's incredible what he did, getting that job over there at the Royals, filling in for Swanee. Considering he was a columnist and not just a beat writer or anything like that, the fact that he wrote some pieces against Kansas City Royals and some of the players and still keeping it respectful enough to get offered that job and accepting that is incredible for him. I think that's very, very impressive.
Congratulations to him.
You seem very excited. On that note, we'll come back. We're going to talk some NBA because I know Darren wants to talk some Steph Curry. Darren and Sterling here, ESPN, Kansas City.
Hear that? That's the sound of our future and getting back to what we love as more and more people get their COVID-19 vaccine.
He just had really good relationships, man. He just found a way. And I think it's impressive that because he wasn't just I think it's good for the Royals, too, because this wasn't a guy who just.
He's a good guy to know. Don't get me wrong.
Lung.org or call 1-800-LUNG-USA for more information.
I just appreciate that it's not a guy who just wrote puff pieces for the Royals, but actually wrote in-depth stuff and got even for the Royals. That's pretty big because typically you want to hire a guy who's like a talking piece. He's not that.
The punch of flavor. Whether you just finished a run, a pickup game, or mowing the lawn, Easy Sport is a refreshing, guilt-free way to celebrate the everyday. Grab an Easy Sport. Boulevard Brewing Company, Kansas City, Missouri.
A KC tradition since 1957 and voted the best steak in Kansas City, Hereford House is a locally owned steakhouse that has served generations of Kansas Cityans. Hereford House exclusively serves certified Hereford beef. All their steaks are aged 21 days, hand-cut daily, and grilled over an open charcoal flame. Go to HerefordHouse.com for hours, new menu items, and to make your reservations. Follow Hereford House on Facebook and Instagram for exclusive specials. Hereford House, voted Kansas City's favorite steakhouse.
In these trying times, Kansas City Credit Union knows how important cash flow is in your household. With rates near all-time lows, now's the time to take action. Free up some cash by lowering your monthly car loan payment when you refinance your auto loan with Kansas City Credit Union. And as a bonus, Kansas City Credit Union will delay your payments for 90 days. Visit kansascitycreditunion.com/810sports for more information. Kansas City Credit Union, your path to financial freedom.
No word in the English language is less convincing than probably.
Are you sure we should get matching tattoos on our first date?
Sure. We'll probably stay together.
Probably? It's been 23 minutes since I ate. I can probably swim.
You should wait 30 minutes.
Okay, now tell me what to do. Cannonball! Cramp! Oh, I have a cramp.
I can probably hit the green from here.
Probably.
Can I get a mulligan?
Ready to go?
Hey, are you sure you're okay to drive?
Yeah, I'm pretty sober. Yeah, I'm probably okay.
Probably okay isn't okay, especially when it comes to drinking and driving. If you're drinking, call a cab, a car, or a friend. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. A message brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Hi, Ollie Gates here. The Gates family would like to say thank you for allowing us to serve you for 75 years, a milestone which would not have been possible without your support. Thanks again, and remember, whatever the case may be, keep the faith.
Welcome back to Darren and Sterling here, ESPN Kansas City, 1510 AM, 94.5 FM, 1510.com, and Facebook Live. I went to the Peanut last night and Maloney's. I went
to the Peanut. That ain't nothing new.
Dude, the Peanut is great for football games and for food. Those wings are just incredible. Darren, I'm telling you, you got to go. Go to the Peanut, get them wings. They're the full wing. It's not that little half stuff.
Not the drumming stuff.
Full wing. Incredible. Incredible. Do you like buffalo wings?
Of course.
Then go to the Peanut. I'm telling you right now, you'd love it.
You know, I've had Nashville hot wings. That's like the hottest thing out there.
Nashville hot wings are not the hottest thing out there.
No. Hold on. Have you been to Hattie B's?
Yes, I have.
Okay, because you know they have 5 different levels, right?
Sure.
They have the hottest one is F this mother. You know that's the one. That's the one I eat, and I scarf them down.
Sure.
Now I scarf water, you know, in between them, but it goes down.
I got two drinks right here, man.
But it goes down. It goes down. So yeah, I love it,
dude. Anything hot, I mean, they're not incredibly hot because they only have one sauce. It's just a great buffalo sauce. But yeah, the Peanut was great last night. Was there. Went to Maloney's, had a few beers. Great time. Downtown OP is getting cool.
So are all the Peanuts the same? Because
yeah.
I'm not trying to be funny because there's one I've been to the Peanut, and I'm pretty sure I've had them because I remember having a meeting with Quentin Lucas. This was while he was running for mayor. He had offered me a position on his campaign staff, but I had to decline it because it wasn't what I wanted. And he was like, "Let's meet over at the Peanut." I'm like, "Okay," and you know.
I think they're all pretty similar. I don't know for sure. I always go to the one in downtown OP. I don't know if I've been to another one. I might have. I don't
I
remember.
don't even know what downtown OP is.
88th Metcalf or 83rd Metcalf. Yeah, downtown Overland Park. I know you would think it's like 135th, but it's actually downtown Overland Park where the City Hall and that stuff's at, and all the downtown is about 83rd Metcalf.
I pass it all the time. Okay. Well, yeah. So, that's good. I mean, so I take it you watched the game from there last night?
Oh, yeah, there. First half there, second half Maloney's over a couple of delicious beers.
Well, let's see. Last night we had the red hour. I had to do 10 minutes on The Odd Couple with Chris Broussard and Rob Parker. Then, of course, we did the show, and we watched the first half there because, we ate at the soiree, and then I went home and watched the rest of it. And, well, yeah, it was great game all the way around. But tonight, Steph Curry had a chance to break the record last night in Indianapolis and did not do it. He was 5 of 16, which, if you notice, his shooting percentage has gone down because it seems like all he's taking is 3-point shots. Yeah. And I don't know if he's doing it just, I guess we're trying to break it, but he'll break it tonight. I mean, unless for some ungodly reason he just goes 0 for 1 for 30 or something, he'll get the record tonight at the Garden in New York City, where the Warriors take on the New York Knicks. And the Knicks are going to be without Quentin Grimes in this ball game, who's out for COVID reasons, I believe, if I read that correctly. And he balled Sunday. I mean, we were in the press box and they were taking on the Milwaukee Bucks, and I was like, "Yo, this cat's out here just hooping like it's I didn't see that coming. The fact that he was out there doing it like that, but yeah, so he's out in this game. R.J. Barrett is also out, and Obi Toppin is out in tonight's game against the Warriors. So I had to hurry up and go off.
Yeah,
Obi
Toppin's a big loss for the Knicks. Obi Toppin's been really good this year.
They have the Warriors as 5-point favorites. Is that still too much for the Warriors, or should it be bigger?
The Knicks play in a lot of close games. They do. I would probably say Golden State by more than 5, especially if Steph gets the 3-point out of the way
he'll
early.
Get that in the first quarter.
Well, you hope, because if not, if he's out there and he's struggling and he's still trying to beat it, say he gets to the third quarter and he's 1 for 7 from 3, you're sitting here going, they're probably getting their butts kicked because he's focused so much on the record. But I would like the Golden State Warriors by more than 5. No Otto Porter Jr., which has been a big rotational piece for Golden State. Otto Porter Jr. has been actually a very nice signing because he's been a guy who's knocked down a lot of threes. He's played some solid defense whenever I've tuned in. I've been impressed by Otto Porter Jr. I do think it's incredible that Steph Curry is going to break the record in the Mecca in New York, in Madison Square Garden. That's really cool. I would have loved to see him do it against his brother, Seth.
Yeah.
That was a long shot. He would have had, I think, 9 that game, but he's had 9 like 39 times and already multiple times this season. So I thought it was possible. But tickets for this game are incredible. It's like $400 a seat just to get in and the nosebleeds to see Steph break this record.
The only reason why I didn't do a parlay in this game, I just went straight up, and I didn't do the. I'm talking about I took the 5 points. I'm going with Warriors for 5 points. I got a lot of money on this game.
Too much money.
I got a lot.
More than you won yesterday.
I've got $440 on this game tonight.
Why?
Because I want to.
You want to feel something?
No. Because trust me, what I was going to do again. Now, if I hit, it's I win 400. So but what I wanted to do, Sterling, but it was just only thing I was going to parlay this. I was going to parlay this game tonight. Take the 5 points, parlay this game tonight with Thursday's game against the Chiefs and the Chargers. But
yeah, that's only a -3 for the Chiefs, and that seems a little low.
Well, and I was also looking at the over. I mean, that's
52, I think, right?
51, which I think is fair. I mean, look at last night's game was 53, but it was a struggle for them to get there because for a fact.
Yeah.
But I think the way these two teams play each other and how close they are, even though the Chiefs have been doing well defensively, I still think the Chargers will come out and score. But when they were talking about Chris Jones possibly being out, I was like, I'm not gonna do that.
Your bet's a little more than my $2 bets. You're a little strong.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, if I lose, I mean, this is all money that I just made over the weekend, so it's not like I actually touched it. But had I did my 3-leg parlay, and I probably would have turned into 6 because I think I would have taken the money line for Buffalo and for Tampa, and it might have been one other game.
I wouldn't be touching these things, by the way, for that much money.
But I'm saying, but that's why I wouldn't have taken the point. I would have done the money line. But I'm saying,
I don't care. That's too much money.
Well, yeah, it is. But that's why I was going to just slim it down to 3 legs and just do the Chiefs game because that's Thursday night. Because if I parlay the Chiefs game anyway, then yeah, I mean, I would have done this.
I don't care how many legs. You got one leg. And
I know you don't care. I do. I'm just saying, but had I done that, that would have been about 3,000, I think.
Hey, well, I'm proud of you, Darren, for having the cojones.
Oh, I do have those
to throw that much money on Golden State on a December 14th basketball game.
All they gotta do is win by 5 or more. Well, I need to win them by 6, I guess. Because if it's 5, I don't lose. I just get my money back.
You better hope it's not like a.
Trust me.
Oh yeah,
I know. But look, this is what I'm banking on. New York City, the stars are going to be out there. You know they're going to be rooting for Steph. So Steph puts on the show. He'll get his 2 3-pointers in the first quarter, and he'll just start dishing them. I mean, he'll just start lighting them up. Hit about 7 or 8. Put the game out.
If it makes you feel better, Golden State is 17-8-1 against the spread this year. The New York Knicks are 11-16. So,
plus,
based on that, odds are in your favor.
Plus, if I'm didn't they lose the other night?
Yeah, the Knicks have lost 4 straight.
No, I was talking about the Warriors. Didn't the
Warriors lost the other night too? They lost to the Sixers.
So see, they don't do back-to-back losses. No, I'm saying yeah. So they lost 6, but they won last night against the Pacers, and that was only a 2-point game. So yeah, I don't think I think, but again, that's because he struggled trying to get that 3-point record. Yeah, and so now, but I think once he gets it, if he gets it early in the ball game, then they can just go back to focusing on playing basketball.
I'm rooting for you. That's all I'm going to say. That. I'm rooting for you.
I appreciate that. So, of course, if
you miss, though, I think you do have to call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
Nah, I'll be okay. If it miss, I just build it back up.
Nets protocol goes to 5 as 4 players ruled out. Lakers cancel practice after positive COVID test.
THT.
The Bulls have had multiple games now postponed.
Well, it's going to be today's game and Thursday's game.
Yeah, because of COVID. So the NBA, NFL looks like this could be a rough couple of weeks, holiday season for sports. They're not going to cancel. As far as I don't think they're going to cancel games itself. They'll postpone them. NFL, I don't think they'll do anything unless for some reason Mahomes or another star quarterback is out.
I know that I know one team was going to look. I think the Detroit Lions were looking to try to get the game postponed to Monday with the Denver Broncos that they played on Sunday, but it didn't warrant. Well, I'm not saying it didn't warrant, but it just didn't get to that level where the NFL was going to do that. But yeah, I mean it is going to affect play obviously because the Cleveland Browns, they have to go through virtually now, at least for the rest of the week, to get through Saturday's game. Of course, they leave out Friday for Vegas, and so we thing is serious, man. But the one thing that my guy Mike Florio talked about that you hope happens is that the NFL, with the situation that took place with Antonio Brown and some of those players, that they go and check to make sure these vaccination cards are legit for those 20% who did it off site.
After you see an Antonio Brown.
Yeah. And then as someone mentioned in the chat, the Rams shut down all their facilities today too, based off of, OBJ, but I'm not sure who else might have tested positive.
9. OBJ among 9 placed on COVID list.
For the Rams?
For the Rams, 9.
Yikes.
So, again, NFL was going very smoothly. They seemingly were no issues. And, of course, week, 14? 15? Week 15 comes up, and this is what you got. Is this week 15 or 14? I'm drawing a blank now.
We're going into week 15.
Going into week 15. Yeah, because now it's 18 weeks, 17 games. Yeah. That 17 game just really throws me still. It's the same thing of the San Diego Chargers, the Oakland Raiders.
Well, the thing is, I mean, it's just the weeks are still the same at the moment. It's just you're tacking on an additional week in January, and then that pushes everything back. So then that way they can justify having a Super Bowl the day before Valentine's Day. Wow.
I mean, the weather's going to start getting warm by the time they start playing again. It's going to be March next time. March Madness is going to be going on. Check back in 10 years, and all of a sudden it'll be March Madness going on with the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's and see, also Christian McCaffrey tested positive as well.
Well, he, I think, was supposed to be out anyways.
Yeah, I mean,
but
still, I mean, but the fact that he tested positive and he's out for the season because of an ankle injury, just.
So really quickly, I know how we say the Patriots, they don't have the easiest or they don't have the most difficult schedule to end the season. I will say, guess who has the third longest win streak right now in the NFL?
Miami Dolphins.
Miami Dolphins. They face them week 17. They still got to play a couple other I think they have to play the Colts still too. I think New England has a good chance of losing at least one, if not two games before the season's over. Kansas City, if they win Thursday, I think if they win Thursday, they're going to be the 1 seed come playoff time. I firmly believe that.
Sterling, in case you had an have had an out of body experience, I think I've been the one talking about the Chiefs getting the number 1 seed the last 2-3 weeks.
I'm saying Pats losing 2 games. Give me 2 games.
So basically, you're saying you agree with me and my assessment that the Chiefs are going to win out, and it takes.
Oh, I've been saying went out.
No. I've been saying went out.
You don't have a.
I do.
No,
I
it's
do.
not
because I've talked about this the last 2-3 weeks about how the Chiefs are setting themselves up for number 1 seed where they went out, where the Patriots, the Titans, and the Ravens all lose one game because Kansas City.
That's not really a hot take.
What do you mean hot take?
That ain't
I've
hot
foreseen
take.
this. I foreseen.
No, you ain't. What are you, some card reader now?
I foreseen.
Are you a tarot reader?
Call
you
it
to
what
get
you
your
want.
little magic crystal ball out.
Yes.
That's why you put the money on that.
Just like
Golden State Warriors.
Exactly. Just like I predicted Chiefs Bucks last year, I'm predicting the Chiefs are gonna get that number 1 seed because everything is lining up and being knocked down in the order as it shall be received.
I'm just saying, Chiefs Rams looking pretty good too.
Who?
You heard me. Chiefs Rams looking pretty good too. Darren, we do have to take a quick break. Come back. Talk some more sports. Darren and Sterling here, ESPN, Kansas City.
No word in the English language is less convincing than probably.
Are you sure we should get matching tattoos on our first date?
Sure. We'll probably stay together.
Probably? It's been 23 minutes since I ate. I can probably swim.
You should wait 30 minutes.
Okay, now tell me what to do. Cannonball! Cramp! Oh, I have a cramp.
I can probably hit the green from here.
Probably.
Can I get a mulligan?
Ready to go?
Hey, are you sure you're okay to drive?
Yeah, I'm pretty sober. Yeah, I'm probably okay.
Probably okay isn't okay, especially when it comes to drinking and driving. If you're drinking, call a cab, a car, or a friend. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. A message brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Space Camper Cosmic IPA is a juicy hot blast of flavor. Citrusy and balanced, this is an IPA with a mission to save the Earth because it's the only planet with beer. You might not know it, but Boulevard Brewing Company has been passionate about taking care of our planet for decades. Between their zero-waste brewery to Ripple Glass, Boulevard has been making great beer you can feel great about. Stock up on Space Camper Cosmic IPA today. Boulevard Brewing Company, Kansas City, Missouri.
Hear that? That's the sound of our future and getting back to what we love as more and more people get their COVID-19 vaccine. At the American Lung Association, we have science-based public health information you can trust to make a decision about the COVID-19 vaccination for yourself. Visit lung.org or call 1-800-LUNG-USA for more information.
A KC tradition since 1957 and voted the best steak in Kansas City, Hereford House is a locally owned steakhouse that has served generations of Kansas Cityans. Hereford House exclusively serves certified Hereford beef. All their steaks are aged 21 days, hand-cut daily, and grilled over an open charcoal flame. Go to HerefordHouse.com for hours, new menu items, and to make your reservations. Follow Hereford House on Facebook and Instagram for exclusive specials. Hereford House, voted Kansas City's favorite steakhouse.
In these trying times, Kansas City Credit Union knows how important cash flow is in your household. With rates near all-time lows, now's the time to take action. Free up some cash by lowering your monthly car loan payment when you refinance your auto loan with Kansas City Credit Union. And as a bonus, Kansas City Credit Union will delay your payments for 90 days. Visit kansascitycreditunion.com/810sports for more information. Kansas City Credit Union, your path to financial freedom.
Welcome back to Darren and Sterling here, ESPN Kansas City, 1510 AM, 94.5 FM, 1510.com, Facebook live in studio on this Tuesday, windy afternoon. Little college basketball. Kansas is 7th in both the AP and coaches poll, sitting at 8-1. College basketball, a lot of good teams this year. I don't know if you've paid much attention, but there are a lot of good teams, a lot of good recent games. Alabama and Houston played. Alabama won. Houston was not too happy. Kelvin Sampson thought it was a goaltending. They ran off very, very angry. But there's been some really good basketball early on in college hoops. Any team really stand out to you this year?
Well, I saw KU play for the first time last week at T-Mobile, and then what they did to Mizzou Saturday. So I thought Gonzaga was the real deal until Duke beat them, and then I thought Duke was the real deal. I lost money on them when they played Ohio State. So I like Kansas. I do. I'm not that biased towards them. I do still live in Missouri, but I know talent when I see it. Bill Self has a great squad. They just have to not get in the way of themselves. And the thing that I like about his team and just the Big 12 in general is that they're going to be battle tested by the time the tournament comes around, Big 12 as well as, of course, that Saturday. I think it's usually Saturday before the Super Bowl or something like that, or at least a Saturday the week. Yeah, usually Saturday the week before Super Bowl or something, where they have the SEC Big 12 matchup. Those are good tests. But I think the Big 12 tournament going into the tournament this year, it's going to be. I mean, I think for them, it's going to build a lot of character for them. And on top of that, I think it'll get them so prepared for the competition that they may face in the different regions. And so I like them. I like Baylor, but I definitely like KU.
Yeah, I said going into the season, Kansas was a Final Four team. If I had to pick one team that I thought was going to make the Final Four this year, Kansas would have been the team I put money on. And this is coming from a Mizzou guy.
We don't need you on our bandwagon.
Hey, no. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan, but I can respect a very good team when I see one. And Kansas, to me, has a very, very, very good team. A lot of depth pieces, and you can never go against Bill Self except for sometimes in the tournament. Baylor, though, they've been a bit of surprise. We all knew they were good, obviously. But
they put the beat out on Villanova, I think, the other night.
Yeah, and so
held them to 39 points.
They had a lot of turnover, right? They had a lot of players either go pro, graduate, and there was expected to be some drop-off. That's not the case. That defense has still been incredible. I mean, Davion Mitchell, when he went to the NBA, you're like, oh, well, there goes your defensive stopper. No. They're back. They never left. Has Baylor been one of the bigger surprises to you, or did you think that they were not going to have any sort of fall from that graduating class?
No, I didn't know what to expect. I mean, I don't follow Baylor like that. I know they're in the Big 12, but obviously my focus is on Kansas when they come here. But no, I didn't expect that. I thought that you win a national title, it should allow you to easily be able to reload, help you recruit, but also reload. So that's what I thought. I mean, we see it, Gonzaga, they really haven't had much of a fall off. Granted, they lost obviously more games than they lost last year because they weren't defeated until the national title game. So, I think that would, so I wouldn't say I'm surprised by their success. I just thought that as a national champion, you should be able to get somewhere, near back near the top.
Yeah, I always find it funny when teams who win the title the year before are dropped like 7 or 8 spots for like, as far as to me, it almost seems disrespectful. It's like they just won. Well, they get the benefit of the doubt. Before we go out, Darren, I do want to ask you, how do you feel about the NFL on Saturday?
Oh, more NFL the better. I mean, hell, I loved it last year when we had NFL on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Oh, I'm good. I like it.
To me, it just feels weird. Sometimes
scheduling wise, it's going to be a little weird because you gotta have to be reminded that it's coming on. But and I think it's also only on the NFL Network too, which That's an excuse for you to drink and eat chicken from
Peanut. I guess, I've heard worse ideas, Darren. Thank you for giving me a great idea. Well, Darren, I'm rooting for you tonight.
I appreciate it. I prefer your prayers more than your rootfulness, but
you got it all, baby. You got it all. All I want, if you win, you give me a Gatorade. That's all I need.
You'll get it when I come back in town.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, speaking of which, just to give you a heads up, Friday, Lebo is supposed to sit in with you a little bit. I think start show because I land at like 3:11 back here in Kansas City. So just give you a heads up. But thank you. We'll see you all. And I'll be doing my show from LA tomorrow. So
let's do it, baby. Darren and Sterling, we're out until tomorrow. We out.